Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy NeoXO coming back at y'all with another video. Today, I'm gonna be talking about Black Clover Chapter 322. Y'all said y'all wanted the reviews back, so I'm bringing it back this week, and we're gonna get right into the video. But before that, make sure you leave a like on the video and leave a comment, and we're gonna get to discussing. So starting right off with this chapter, a lot of people did enjoy this chapter, myself included. I really enjoyed this chapter. It starts off with Asta and Nacht. Nacht is really becoming like a solidified role leader. Basically, Nacht really is in that 100%, I'd say, vice captain role. Like, considering he was not in the series for the majority of it, like whenever the Black Bulls, we were first meeting them and he just kind of came in, I think he's really doing a good job as the vice captain. And I know he was a spy and all that kind of stuff, but they kind of pay off the fact that he has been gone a little bit in the end. By this point, you guys read the chapter, so I'll just say it. In the end, whenever Yami comes, he's like, he says something along the line. We're gonna get in a little bit deeper later in the video, but Yami says something along the lines of, "How you been? It's nice to see you. It's been so long, you know," because Nacht basically became the vice captain, and then he dipped out. You know, he was doing all that spade work in the Spade Kingdom, but you know, he did have a lot of character moments in this chapter. Like I said, really getting into the role of Asta's role model, mentor, vice captain, things like that. So he tells Asta basically, he's like, "Look, man, I know you want to fight, but you're not in any condition to fight." And he's just looking out for Asta at this point. He really understands Asta, and Asta is probably one of his favorite people because Nacht isn't really a people person. So the fact that he likes Asta says a lot. He likes Asta basically because he's righteous and courageous, and he knows that Asta wants to fight, just like Mimosa did a couple chapters ago. And he's basically saying, "Hey man, you can't beat Lucifero in this condition you're in. I just gotta talk some sense into you. I know the type of person you are, and you want to go fight Lucifero, but you just can't right now. You don't have the strength because you're basically all beat up." Now we see some of Nacht's internal dialogue, and he's saying how the battlefield is not any place for somebody who can't fight, which is absolutely true. You can't fight, you're just gonna be killed immediately because Lucifero does not really play around. And even if he was playing around, a hit from Lucifero for most people would probably kill them. Let's just be honest. The man is that strong. So Nacht in his internal dialogue, he's saying, yes, this is no place for people who can't fight. However, he's gonna go ahead and he's like, "All right, Asta, if you want to fight, I'm gonna go along with you, and we're gonna fight." Because he knows in his head, he's like, anti-magic is the only way that we could defeat him. So even if Asta is not really in a condition to fight, Lucifero can't be defeated without Asta. So he's like going to make the next step and just take Asta to Lucifero. He's like, "All right, you're really not supposed to be fighting, but we don't have any other options. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I don't mind risking my life to protect yours in order for us to defeat Lucifero." So meanwhile, while all of this is going on, we do have Yuno and Muriel continuing to fight against Lucifero. So we get some action shots. I think this is going to be really cool once it's animated, because this is just a kind of like a raging fight. It's really intense, and Muriel and Yuno really not doing any damage, and they come to this realization as well. They're like, "All right, we can't do any damage to Lucifero. We don't have anti-magic. We're not really doing any damage." Which I'm kind of curious, why can't Yuno do any damage? Because he does have Saint Stage. I mean, if he went into like his Saint Stage form and fought against a devil, he should be able to do some damage, because whenever Noelle went into her Saint Stage, like, she did damage. Whenever he used Saint Stage against Xenon, he did damage. So I'm just curious to like see if Yuno can do any damage, or if Asta is the only person who can do damage to Lucifero. So far, Asta is the only one who has been able to land an attack that has sustained any damage on Lucifero right on his horn. So Lucifero's horn is not growing back, guys. So that's kind of like a sign that Lucifero can be defeated by anti-magic, and that's probably why Lucifero has such a grudge against Asta. But it's possible that there might be something a little bit deeper. But going off of Lucifero's statements, he doesn't even know who Libe is. He's saying like, this is a low-level devil, and he doesn't have any rank to him. Basically, he's like a nobody. So that's probably another reason why Lucifero's just mad. He's like, "All right, this is one of the devils, and not even the king of the devils." He kind of reminds me of Dante in a way. There, it makes sense that they were, you know, paired up together to be like. But even though Yuno and Mirio, I kind of went on a tangent, but even though Yuno and Mirio are not really doing any damage, they're continuing to fight. So that's cool to see, honestly, because they're saying as long as we can, we're just gonna fight no matter what, because that's just how we are. They just don't want to give up, especially because Asta kind of brought this mentality into the Clover Kingdom. I feel like Asta just never gave up, even though he didn't have magic. So I think that definitely rubbed off on a lot of the Magic Knights. Lucifero is starting to get pissed off fighting against Yuno and Mirio. He's like, all right, I'm tired of this. I just want to take out Asta because I don't like Asta. He does not like Asta due to the fact that he, is interfering in his plans. Asta stops his manifestation with whenever he used the Demon Slasher and kind of did like Yami's spell in a way. It's not Yami's spell, but it was it took inspiration from Yami's spell. So whenever he used that against his manifestation, that's the moment where Lucifero just was like, all right, I hate this guy and I'm gonna take him out. So Lucifero calls on Adramelech, and that's the second gate devil. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be his name. If not, it's gonna be very similar, because whenever the rough translations came out for Lucifero, it was translated as like Lucifer, I'm pretty sure, and it just added an O, so it turned Lucifer into like Lucifero. So Adramelech is what the rough translations are saying, so it's gonna be pretty close or exactly the same. So he calls on Adramelech and he's like, Adramelech, take care of Yuno and Mirio. And kind of interesting, what happens is Adramelech's like, no thanks, I'm gonna pass on that, and he just continues to watch. And this is kind of indicative of his character, I feel like, because he doesn't get involved. He doesn't want to get involved. He's not going to get involved. And even though Lucifero is the king of the devils, he does not take orders from the king. He does not take orders from anybody. Adramelech just basically stays completely out of it. He's kind of like a neutral party. And as far as we've seen so far, he has not done any evil. He has not done any harm to the humans. In fact, he's actually tried to help the humans by telling them to get out of the way. But I don't want to make this all about Adramelech, but I do want to touch on a little bit of his character like there. So next we shift focus onto Mirio. She says, it looks like you're not too popular in the underworld, something along those lines. And that might be some foreshadowing. Like, it really looks like the devils are not loyal. Magicula wasn't loyal to Lucifero. Adramelech isn't loyal to Lucifero. It seems like Libe isn't loyal to Lucifero. Like, even though he's the king, these devils are not even loyal to Lucifero. It seems like he's more of a tyrant, to be honest. Tyrant just takes power, but the people don't respect him. Like, when you look at the Wizard King Julius, the people listen to his orders because they respect him, So it seems like even though Lucifero is proclaimed to be the king, they don't even respect him, which this could be hinting at somebody even greater to come past Lucifero. Like, if they're not scared of Lucifero, then who would they be scared of, type of situation. To Mirio, shifting the focus on to her a little bit more, like, she's starting to not be able to sustain this form that she has, the Mana Incarnate, where she's just fired up in basically embodying Mana. And Adramelech says something along the lines of, you're not really doing too well now. It seems like you have gotten too close to Mana. I guess this is the limitations of humans. Now, I'm gonna read a little bit into this. Okay, so he says this is the limitation of humans. So I'm wondering if there are some devils who can just straight up do this even greater than Mirio can do this, because he says the limitations of humans. Now, something else this kind of reminded me of is the story about Icarus. Most people know like the story, the guy who flew too close to the sun or whatever. And this kind of reminds me of that. It's like kind of, you get this power, but if you overuse the power or do too much with the power and don't handle the power responsibly, the power starts to consume you. So that's basically kind of like the message. And that's basically what's going on with Mirio. Like, she has all this power, but the power is beginning to consume her. And another point on Adramelech, he's starting to remind me of Devil Raya a little bit. I don't know. Let me know if you guys feel that. So the fight between Yuno, Mirio, and Lucifero rages on. And pretty much Lucifero like bodies Yuno out of the frame, and then we get Nacht. Nacht premieres a new form, Devil Union Canis X Equus. So he has his defensive mode and also his attacking mode with the dogs, and it kind of like a hybrid form. Really cool form, but this new form came out and it immediately gets one-shotted. So that kind of like takes a little bit of the shine away from Nacht, I feel like. Now, I'm not saying this is this is not expected to happen. I'm just saying, like, the fact that we just premiered a new form and it just get one shot of the way, that's just crazy. You know, imagine if, like, whenever Asta went into Devil Union mode, it just got one shot. You know, just think about it. But anyway, how it ended up getting one shotted is Asta attempted to hit Lucifero again, and I'm glad that it didn't hit. I'm gonna be honest, because it was kind of like the same attack, and I'm like, come on, Lucifero, you can't. You're the king of the devils. You're really strong. You can't fall for the same attack again. You know, Asta kind of tried to sneak behind him and hit him from behind, and the attack didn't work the first time, so I'm not really sure why Asta tried to do it again, but it didn't. And needless to say, it didn't end up working out again, and then Nacht had to step out in front of Asta. Like I said, Nacht is really falling into the role of vice captain and a role model for Asta. He tries to save Asta and he gets one-shotted. But as he was about to meet his doom, Captain Yami comes out, and really exciting part, my favorite part of the chapter, guys. Captain Yami comes out. He premieres a new sword in his hand. It looks like to be William's World Tree magic. Now, I'm not gonna rule out other type of magic. It could be Briar magic. What else? It could be a couple different type of magic, but let's just go with the assumption that it's World Tree magic. And I think if it is, we could premiere something like I seen a comment on my video, and he said World Tree magic Dark Dimension Slash. Like, that would be cold. Not saying that's gonna happen, but that would be cold. And I feel like World Tree magic and Dark magic can be useful. We seen Dark Cloak Dimension Slash Equinox against Zagreus, and that worked. It kind of disrupted his double mana. So it would be interesting to see what can work going forward with the World Tree magic and the Dark magic. But that would be interesting to see. Yami's like, long time no see. I wonder how you're doing, Nacht. Vice captain. He calls him vice captain by title. Pretty cool to see him getting the recognition from Yami. And Yami's like, all right, I'm back. This is my squad. Thanks. You guys held it down while I was gone. You guys made me proud. You know, that's basically how Yami came in with his new sword. I'm really interested to see the new capabilities of this sword. I hope this is a long-term thing, because, you know, Asta has the Demon Slasher now, so Yami has a new sword too. So I think that would work out really cool to see in the future. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeoXO, and I'm out.